check is for 1 lakh rupees. The society is not a rich society. We have only given 2 awards earlier, Best Parliamentarian. One was Ms. Shri Gupta, who is no longer with us, and the other was for the Prime Minister. After that we have stopped, so this is not a reflection on the current parliamentarians. And this is the 3rd award that we have given.
Pant, Pant, and distinguished guests, friends, I cannot find words to express myself on this occasion. For once I am short of words. It's a great honor to me that I had the opportunity of presenting to the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister the 18th, the last volume of selected works of Pandit Govind Pant. I really don't know why I chose the word selected and not collected. This is because there were certain gaps which just existed, I could do nothing about them, and some trivia were ignored. It's very gracious of the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister to spare the time during the Parliament session to attend this function organized by the Govind Pant Memorial Society to mark the completion of this project. It's very kind of Shri Pant to have complimented me for this project. It was conceived as is, I suppose, known during the birth centenary of Pandit Govind Pant. But we had some teething troubles, and we got going only by 1990. The first volume came out in 1993, and the last volume this year. I must confess that when I was invited to be the honorary chief editor of this project, I was a little hesitant, partly because of my own literary commitments, and partly because I had the impression, and it turned out to be correct, that Shri Govind Pant had not been so well served by his secretaries as, say, for example, Gandhiji and Jawaharlal Nehru. We know how Bihari and Ballabh preserved Mahatma's papers. Of course, Gandhiji described many of his papers before these people came on the scene. But once they came on the scene, they saved the papers. And they kept diaries of his day-to-day activities and conversations. Nehru's secretaries, especially after independence, kept copies of letters issued from the House. So the task of publishing the collected works of Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru was to that extent facilitated. But we had to do this, take this task from scratch. I incurred many debts along the way while I was working on the project. The Pant family, especially, Shri Pant and Bihari, have been very supportive, and so have been some of the senior officers, secretaries of the Department of Culture, and one of them is Shri is with us here. I would like to mention in particular others also, especially Mahapatra and Shri Vajpayee Iyer. Srimati Sonia Gandhi was kind enough to permit me access to Nehru papers in the Murthy House. Of course, I must say, I had many problems. I will mention only one in the presence of the Prime Minister. It took me several years of struggle and appeal to successive Prime Ministers before I got permission to have access to unceased correspondence with Jawaharlal Nehru in the Prime Minister's office and the Cabinet Secretary. The rules for access to government records in our country are sometimes the despair of historians. I recall in 1963, when I was writing a biography of Gopal Krishna Gokhale, I wanted to see some files about plague in Pune in 1897. I was told I can't read the file, it's top secret. I went to the Chief Secretary, Mr. K. Master, ICS, and I told him. He said, no, it is top secret. I have seen the file. It's marked top secret. Now, please do not imagine that this jealous guardianship of government records is not being done today. While working on this project, I had problems. If a file was marked top secret in 1950, it was top secret even in 2001. Unless an elaborate process of declassification was undertaken. The Government of India has recently taken a landmark decision in according the right of information on matters of governance to the ordinary citizen. May I request that the government would consider granting the same right of information about the past records to historians. I have sometimes been asked, what is the point in publishing these massive volumes? Who needs them? Who needs them, they say. This raises the whole question of the place of biography and history in our national consciousness. In Western countries, for example, a biography of Churchill or Roosevelt or Lenin or any political leader, George Washington, was published today. Hundreds of thousands of copies will be printed and sold. In India, a biography of Gandhi, Ballabh Patel, Nehru, if it sells 1,000 copies, the publisher will think he is very lucky, fortunate. The attitude of our people to our leaders is curious. They praise them to the skies in their lifetime. They give them a grand funeral and then forget it. In my opinion, what our political leaders, great leaders needed then and need now is not praise but understanding. We have to rescue the memory of our leaders both from the admirers and from the debunkers. I'll say a few words on the problem not function in a political and social vacuum. They were not born great. They lived the struggle, they had choices, they had options, they made choices and paid the price for them. And we can only understand them in the political and social context. This is where accurate documentation like the collected works comes in. And I know there are people who would say, we are getting on with the present, in the future, we are not interested in the past. To them, I would say, history is to a nation what memory is to an individual. And a nation which loses touch with its past or does not understand its past is condemned to repeat history. I wanted to say something on Pant, but very eloquent and moving presentation by Shri Pant has made it unnecessary. I would mention that, as he has also hinted, that he came from the backwaters of Uttaranchal. And when he was elected in 1923, end of 23, and landed in Lucknow in 1924 as a member, elected to the UP Council, nobody knew him. He was the junior most, the least known member of the Swaraj party. But luckily for him, Pandit Motilal Nehru heard him speak. He was so impressed that he had him elected leader of the Swaraj party in UP Council, over the head of others. And that decided his career for the rest of the life. Of course, he took part in the freedom struggle, and Shri Pant has given us an outlet. But I think it was fortunate that he was called upon to fill the role of a parliamentarian and an administrator, both in his province and at the center. This was something for which he was fitted by his talents and by his temperament. He could speak without notes for an hour, for example. And there are many speeches in these war rooms which are extemporary speeches. And if I want to change a comma, I can't change it. I can't change a word. Man's clarity of thought, logic,